nation's capital has learned of the president's death in stunned disbelief. Outside ABC studios, the sidewalk has been jammed with crowds following developments with shock and bewilderment on loudspeakers and TV screens. One can see the tragic news spreading from mouth to mouth in the streets. Here and there, people are crying, and there are reactions of rage and fury. At the White House, some of the staff was on hand as usual, though some were with the president. One office here was a quick direct channel of the news to Washington officialdom. That was Senator Hubert Humphrey, who rushed to the White House after Congress was informed by way of the staff's direct communication system with Dallas, a system that follows the president wherever he goes. Crowds gathered here, too, and saw the lowering of the White House flag to half-mast when the death of the president was confirmed. This is the Justice Department. Crowds outside the offices of Attorney General Kennedy, the president's brother and closest advisor. President Kennedy's other brother, Ted, the senator from Massachusetts, happened to be presiding over the Senate when the first shocking word was whispered to him by a doorkeeper. Senator Kennedy immediately left the building.
We're on the street outside the NBC studios in Rockefeller Center. Sir, how did you hear of the president's assassination?
A gentleman came into an office in which I was transacting business and mentioned it to us, and at the time I really wasn't able to believe it. I had to hear it for myself, and unfortunately I did very shortly afterwards. What is your feeling now? I'm terribly shocked and saddened by it, and I would add angered by it.
Why angered?
I think it was a horrible, senseless thing, and I hope that the rest of the country feels the same way.
Do you think that this assassination somehow reflects a climate of opinion in the country now?
I hope that it doesn't reflect a climate of opinion that is very prevalent in the country today. It certainly obviously reflects an opinion that some people hold. I hope that as an American and the other people as Americans do not generally hold this feeling.
You said some people. Who do you mean by that?
I don't feel expert enough to express an opinion, but the only evidence that I have as to who these people are these ultra-conservative groups that have been distributing literature and spreading hate in Texas, and who attacked Ambassador Stevenson was about a week ago.
A little longer than that. Of course, no one knows if these people are indeed responsible.
No, certainly not.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am, what was your reaction?
I was very shocked and saddened by the president's death. I was getting some eyeglasses fitted when I first heard about it, and then I was riding on the bus when they finally told me he was dead.
Do you find it difficult to believe even now?
I really do. I really find it difficult to believe now.
The president was in Dallas, which is, of course, part of the South. Do you think that somehow his racial policies are in any way connected with this?
That's the first thing I thought of when I heard about it, yes. I thought that probably some segregationist crackpot or something, just they had it all planned out, and I really believe that his blood will be on their hands forever, yes.
Thank you. How about you, sir? Do you believe it even now?
This is the first time in my life I honestly say I'm not proud to be an American. Right now I'm serving in the armed forces and I'm just home on leave, and it's an understatement to say it was a shock. I first did not believe it, and I have trouble believing it now. I just don't think it reflects the thinking of most people. As was stated before, I think it's a small minority, and it's just an unfortunate day for the United States that this can happen. This is something that you read in history books and just never want to believe that can happen when you're living.
I think this is the worst possible thing that could ever happen to our country at a time like this.
Something very hard to believe in this wonderful country of ours.
I felt as though I had lost a member of my family.
I hope they get the assassins, and I hope that something is done to them. Far worse than killing them.
It reminded me of something like what happened to Lincoln.
I think that we really lost someone that would have helped the future of this country quite a bit.
I'm so shocked, I just can't say anything. I think it's a tragedy for the whole world. I'm very shocked. It's terrible. It's unbelievable.
The atmosphere of gloom and silent despair which has fallen over every part of the United States today is very clearly in evidence here in San Francisco. And any difference in the reaction of the people here on the West Coast is perhaps due to the difference in time. Because of the time difference, people in San Francisco learned of the tragic assassination of President Kennedy even before noon today, so that they have had one half of a whole working day to contemplate this tragedy. A large crowd is now gathered. I'd like to get some reaction from you people. How do you feel about hearing this news?
I still can't believe it. I know it happened, but I still can't believe it.
Where were you when you first learned of the death?
I work here at the Chronicle. I was at my desk.
Sir, what are your feelings?
I was shocked and almost beyond belief. I was at work when I first heard of it in Richmond, and knew somebody came into the office and mentioned something about it. It's still too much to believe. I'm very saddened by the horrible thing that happened. It's almost impossible still to comprehend the terrible disaster.
Thank you. And you, sir?
Well, I think this is something that everyone in the country shares the blame for. And I hope that everyone, especially the Southern white moderates, take every possible step they can to see that it never happens again or anything like it. I hope that the moderates, especially in the South, do everything they can to quell this type of fanaticism and stop it. This is going to destroy the South and perhaps the whole country.
Sir?
Well, sir, I work for the Chronicle in the printing department as a machinist, and I was very saddened and shocked. Everybody I worked with was very heartfelt and sad. Mr. Kennedy, who has helped to do so much for our country, uniting for peaceful purposes and banning the bomb and civil actions that Mr. Kennedy was always for, and I feel it's a great loss to the country.
Thank you, sir. Perhaps the best reaction is best summed up. A hero is dead, and the people know it. This is Jerry Jensen reporting from San Francisco.